I'm Msgr Joseph Schaedel, Vicar General of the Archdiocese of Indianapolis. I am 60 years old. I have been a priest for 26 years. In grade school and high school, because of the priests and religious that I knew, I think the idea crossed my mind. But I never really seriously experienced a call until I was about 30 years old. When I turned 30, that was traumatic, and I think I finally just thought to myself, what am I really going to do with the rest of my life? What do I want to devote myself to permanently? And at that time, someone, another priest who happened to be pastor of my parish at the time, said to me, have you ever thought about becoming a priest? And when he said that, I really dismissed it pretty quickly, but then I couldn't get it off my mind. It kept haunting me. Why did he say that, and is there something to this? And that's really when it all began. Well, of course, by age 30, I had a career myself, and I was somewhat fearful of dropping everything, putting everything aside, and going back to school, back to the classroom as a student. But that turned out to be the least of my worries. It was a great time in my life to let go of so many things, to go back to the classroom. And I say that because the seminary, particularly my teachers and especially my classmates, were such good people, and I formed many lasting friendships. That was a worry initially for me, but as it turned out in the end, that was the least of my worries. Probably the most memorable priestly moments in my life have been when I have been ministering to people when they are in trouble. I particularly remember one time visiting a woman in the hospital in the emergency room, and she was dying. And in fact, she did die when I was holding her hand. And I'll never forget, she said to me, "Oh, Father, you have the touch of God. You have the touch of God." And then she died. And that was just an experience which I'll never forget. The other situations, I think, have been times when I have been with people in the sacrament of reconciliation, hearing confessions, to talk to someone who has been away from the church, alienated from the church, particularly people that thought there was no way they could come back. There was no forgiveness, there was no reconciliation possible for them. And to lead them to that point has been very rewarding. I can truthfully say that a priest at that juncture has the opportunity to make a significant difference in somebody's life and the whole direction of a person's life. The experience of being the Vicar General is very rewarding for a couple of reasons. First of all, because I greatly admire the leadership of Archbishop Beekline, who I serve under as Vicar General. It's easy to be supportive of this particular Archbishop, his hopes, his dreams, his ideas. To be loyal to him and to serve him in a sense as Vicar General is easy to do, because I greatly admire and value his leadership. Prayer is paramount. What is God asking you to do? And secondly, and this is part of my vocation story, to listen to the observations of people around us. I understand that we can't spend the rest of our lives doing what everybody else wants us to do. But if someone from the outside looking at you mentions that they think you perhaps could be a good priest, there may be something to that. There is something in people's observations about us that we ourselves sometimes can't see.